Welcome to Emotional Mastery, where we are here to explore our human sufferings and pain and experiences and transform them into our greatest human experience, right? And we are here on a very, very special episode. This is live, by the way, if you're tuning in as this is a recording. This is a live event that I'm putting out for my community. And the inspiration from this is actually writing a newsletter about predictions of 2026, and then people texted me saying that, hey, wow, this would be super useful if I put on a class and share with everybody what exactly is going down in 2026 so that we can best plan, how we actually going to go about it. Now, I'm going to share from a perspective of astrology, right? That's where my training, my first training of life. Hi, Joanne, right? Hi, my first training is all from astrology, but I know that not everybody knows the astrological lingo. So I am going to go ahead and, share this from a more practical standpoint, right? Not all of us are entrepreneurs, business owners, but so this applies from different types of context and perspective. And my encouragement for you is to take notes and take notes from a place where that is applies to the context of your life, whether you're a 9 to 5, or you're an entrepreneur, maybe you are in a position of leadership. I'll say that I'll share from a very general perspective, but also it's going to apply to every context that's gonna happen. So why astrology? Why talk about astrology? I think astrology is such a beautiful class of a field of knowledge that helps us to understand the patterns of life, right? The study of time. Astrology is study of time, and correlating that to human behavior and how we behave and what choices do we make and how we govern our land, our community, our nation even. And that is reflective of what's going on in our psychology and how we make decisions. So astrology helps us to see how we behave, and really this class is really about understanding the trends that's upcoming. And I am more passionate than ever before about 2026 than most other years in terms of studying the patterns of time. The reason because we are really in a transition, what do you call it, a crossroad, right? And I'm as passionate as this, and I can feel it in my bones, in my body, as much as it was during 2020 COVID-19 lockdown. Next year is as big as that, but in different ways. It's not as depressing. In fact, it's more expensive, right? It's very, very expensive. And I was just looking at it, and it's just like dominated with fire signs all the way. And if some of you study Chinese astrology, next year is the year of the fire horse. And it's intense, and it is really it's very entrepreneurial by nature, but it's also about taking risks and going off on an adventure, right? So if you're a risk taker, next year is definitely for you. But the risk to the risk taking is that you might burn out, right? You might not rest and recover. You might not honor your yin side of you and support yourself in the big vision that you're trying to create. So if you're waiting for an opportunity, you're waiting for something to happen in your life, next year is the year. Why? I mean, everybody says that every year, right? I'm sure you guys, check out astrologers. They say that every year. But specifically in 2025, because this year is the water snake, and then also in astrology, in Western astrology, it's a lot of water sign. It's really all about facing your vulnerabilities, letting go, shedding your skin, shedding your identity, letting go things that is no longer serving you anymore. In fact, it's very, very humbling 2025. I know many people lost families, right? I know many people, lose friends, and there's so much ending that has been happening, and there's so much also global crisis in the terms of a water-related disaster. Those of you in Malaysia, we just experienced a big flood happening, right? And during that time, Neptune was basically trying to stop and go direct. And by the way, for all of us in this generation, this planet Neptune is very interesting. It's at the degree of 29 degree Pisces, which is like the end degree of a zodiac, right? And the end degree of a zodiac, and that represents the ending of endings. And this will not happen again in our generation, in our lifetime, unless you live to 200 years old. Because the next time Neptune is going to come back to this spot is 168 years later. That's the significance of this time stamp, let's call it, right? Just to show you guys the gravity of really ending things. maybe some of you shed identities. Maybe you no longer resonate with certain types of people, certain types of being, certain types of habits, certain types of relating. And if you are still holding on to those attachment, right, of 2025, let's see, you have 16 days to let it go. Right? And before this whole new wave of energy comes in. And how does this reflect on us numerologically? If you count the numbers 2025, 2 plus 2 plus 5 is the number 9, which is also the final number in numerology, right? And then next year, if you count 2 plus 2 plus 6 is 1. And it's the beginning of a new cycle, right? So the symbology of things, you're just hitting it again and again and again and again. This year is about ending, next year is about starting. And I know many people are trying to start things this year. How many of you actually are starting something this year and you try to get it moving? Never really move, right? It's like every time you try to start something, something's in the way, and then you have to do some inner work and let it go and process those emotions and the pain and those kind of things. That's what it was. But that being said, I really did not care about, what the astrology was saying. I did it anyway. This year I traveled to 12 different cities. I tried to expand myself. I tried to connect and share my influence with people, and it was, my friends, tiring, dead tiring. And then I had an experience where I was bedridden twice this year, not able to walk all of a sudden, and I had a severe chronic lower back pain that left me questioning my life and my path. Also, in many ways, wanting to give up many things. But obviously, I'm not giving up many things. I'm more like, I need to discover a different way of doing things. So it set me up for 2026. I think, in sharing that ways, I'm sure many of you in the room can relate to what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's talk about 2026, right? Let's not dwell on 2025 anymore, because to me, 2025 is over. And December, I think you guys are in the room because you are really planning and feeling like, okay, what can we start making things happen in right now, right? Because 2026 starts now. And I'm sure you guys are doing goal setting, planning, visioning, and trying to figure out, because we are all in a crossroads, what's next, right? I think that's why we are in this room as well, probably curious about what do I have to say. I'm going to start with sharing 5 big themes of 2026. And then I'm going to share with you month by month some keywords as to what energy you can expect. I'm not going to talk about any astrological lingo, but some metaphorical explanations for you to really tune into what that looks like. And then I'm going to share some tips, 10 tips to actually, how you can show up next year to best grab the opportunity of a new wave that's coming. All right. So let's start with the first theme, right? The year that everything accelerates, right? And aptly, that's the first theme that you should know, that I should predict, right? Next year, if you think that 2025 technological advancement, AI advancement is fast, next year is 2 times, 3 times, if not 5 times faster, right? And you'll see the integration of these amazing technologies in the market, and they will start pushing out all these amazing things for global use, right? Imagine 1991, 92, 93, right? Suddenly everybody have a computer at home, that kind of thing, right? It could be virtual reality at your own house kind of thing, could happen, right? By next year, right? It also could be like flying cars, racing cars as well. People are playing a drone race, but it's manned, right? So they're recreating the whole race, just like what you see in Phantom of Menace, Star Wars, the first episode, where Anakin was just, riding the race. Basically, in the near future, F1 will be replaced, okay, by these kind of flying cars, right? And then, of course, this year you notice that there's unmanned drivers in the bus, in the taxis, Ubers that drive you around the city that is driverless. All these things will start to take things to the next level, right? I think Amazon also is trying to use drones to send packages to doorsteps as well. I'm not sure when they're going to implement that, but a lot of this kind of stuff, robotics, is taking place. So what's going to really happen, because everything's accelerating, business models will shift overnight, industries will restructure, and basically social dynamics are forced to evolve. I don't know in Malaysia and I don't know which country that some countries are going fully digital in terms of their currency, meaning paper money will start to become something obsolete. In fact, I hate going to Singapore. Sorry, Singaporeans, if you're actually, listening to this. But I hate going to Singapore because they don't accept cash. And then this is what we used to do, by the way. We used to, get a great exchange rate, exchange all our money into like the currency that we're going, and then we start, using cash in that country, right? And we didn't want to use our credit cards and all those kind of stuff because it's the interest rate is higher and so on and so forth. So my recent experiences in Singapore is like they don't accept cash except the main places like 7-Eleven and things like that. So they refuse you, from paying, and then you have to figure out how to pay the lunch and stuff like that. That is gonna go into a bigger extreme next year, but it's more fully developed in 2027, right? And people are wanting to go fully digital. And of course, that is going to bring up a lot of cybersecurity issues. It has already been in a conversation. And as you can see, another annoying thing that's happening in your phone. I run a team, by the way, all right? And everything is 2FA, right? Two-factor authentication. If not 3, 4, 5, 10, right? And I have to keep pressing my damn phone to let my team in. And Ruth, my operation manager, right? She was sending me a meme that the full-time job is to sending codes to your team to approve them for entering in. What the heck is the point of hiring VAs and things like that when you're supposed to take you off your mind? So that is gonna be something that is gonna be like, pissing people off, and that is just some minute small changes that is affecting you. Yeah, what, not a big deal, right? Third world problems, or I mean first world problems. But the crazy thing is that this little minor thing, just imagine it blowing up on a social perspective, right? Example, people are using ChatGPT for therapy, for coaching, right? For mental health. And then there were some suicidal cases that was being led by the ChatGPT, if you guys saw that. So basically, we are in this moral dilemma between human and machines. Further down the line, there's something called transhumanism, meaning we are putting technology into our biology. I'll put chips in your brain. That chip will help you think faster and do things, right? Or I will create a synthetic leg that has AI and robotic abilities, and it connects to your nervous system, and then you can start walking. And, to a certain degree, I'm not against this thing, which is kind of cool, right? It could create a lot of disabilities and invite a lot of new inventions and innovation in the way that we can recover and become a better version of ourselves. It opens up a lot of possibilities. But the danger is this, right? The danger is this, that when we have not even find our true potential of humanity, meaning our creativity, imagination, our ability to imagine, our ability to feel, create heart coherence, brain coherence, and create something that is magnetically powerful. And also another thing is that, our cells is not like a USB drive, right? A 256 gig size, once it's limited. But our cells can grow in potential from 256 to 512 to and so on and so forth. Our cells is ever growing. So there's all this debate whether, should we exchange our human biology for, for a technology that might give us some form of convenience, some form of like temporary short boost for what, right? What are we sacrificing in the cost of that? And that kind of conversation will take precedent in the next 5 years. It's not going to go on very quickly, but that's kind of conversation that we are going to be having, right? So great technology can shift a lot of our environmental things, but how much of control are we giving nature to a point where there's a point of no return? So I'm sharing all of this, and maybe it doesn't matter to you, right? These are global issues, and you are probably in the micro scale. I'm sharing this because we are the last generation that knows what it means to live without tech, or at least we have some experiences to live without tech. And here's the thing about human biology. If you don't use it, you lose it. If you stop training and working out on your body, you'll lose muscles. All right. If you binge watch iPad, to let this machine imagine for you, you lose your capacity to imagine. If you're seeking therapy through a phone and you forgot what it means to feel because your phone and ChatGPT is saying all the right things you want to hear, you lose the capacity to deal with emotional turbulence, pain, fear, stress, suffering, all that is the full spectrum of the human experience. So it's actually deeply concerning, right? And my encouragement is for you guys listening to this is like, okay, what's my role in this? Where do I stand, and what do I want to choose? What votes do I want to play? If everything is accelerating in such a way, right? Take a look into your life. What do you care about? Is it education? Is it human leadership? Is it emotions? Is it spirituality? Is it art? Is it music? In a way, this advancement of technology is affecting all industries. Can't even tell next year what's real and what's fake anymore, unless there's a regulation that says this is fake, AI produced. I even saw something on the news this year. It's like there's a legal, AI character that movies can buy, and there's an everlasting character that will play movies for you. Insane. Okay, so where is the line where we say enough is enough? Obviously, I'm sharing with metaphorical themes, right? As above, so below. What's happening on the macro scale happens internally in your little environment. That's the power of astrology, and I see it happen over and over again. So in a year where everything is accelerating, right? There's no more survival of the fittest, but the survival of the most adaptable. How well can you adapt? At this point, there's so much of information overloading our brains and overloading our life. We can't even catch up. And the craziest thing, I don't know how many of you in the room feel this. I feel like I'm not good enough just because I can't catch up with life. And that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, right? So permission to slow down. And what I found out for myself that's working, I like to go counter trend because everything in life is a polarity. If everything's accelerating, oh my God, just decelerate, slow down, right? Pause and figure things out. And I'm not saying be in a place of inaction. Find something that you're passionate about, that you want to work on, and go for it, right? But at the same time, can you balance things out? Because when this bubble of acceleration pops, it's going to pop at some point, then you're in a good position because people will come to you, right? So if people are pushing AI and stuff like that, then push human connection. One thing that I know for myself, and I think this is my hypothesis, you figure it out for yourself, human connection can never go obsolete. Human creativity and art will never go obsolete. That's how we are. We are here to be creators. We like to create. We'll find ways to create, no matter what way, shape, or form. And I really believe that great art, great innovation comes from pain. So we have to learn how to embrace pain, right? That's the polarity of life. So because of the speeding up of everything is like trendy. My invitation for everybody is not to get distracted. I have a rule that helps me anchor next year. It's called the 1-3 rule. Focus on one thing, and then ask yourself what is the 3 conditions that is able to create that one thing, and make that the whole year. Nothing else. Make that the whole year, right? Next year's the year of the 1. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, 1 audience, 1 problem, 1 message, 1 offer, 1 solution, that's it. Nothing more than that. You don't need 10 products. You don't need 10, 15 services, and so on and so forth. You don't need so many messages. 1 repeatable message will penetrate through the noise. Because imagine, everybody is just making noise on social media and so on and so forth. So being able to have a very powerful message that penetrates to the right one audience, the more specific you go, the more you create action in people. More distracted and dilute you go, same with your energy, same with your intention, same with your business models, then you don't really get anywhere because you're going to be just like everybody else. Everybody is so good at copying at this point. Everything's just generic. Meaning, your authenticity is the only thing that people cannot copy, and that is the leverage to outcompete the noise that is everywhere, that everybody's accelerating. Does it make sense for people? Yeah? People don't buy what you do or what you have. People buy who you are. People want that now. Okay. So that's my first big theme. The second big theme, there's a lot of people being laid off this year, even more than the previous years. All right. In the US, I think this is global. So next year's a year of entrepreneurship. If you're already an entrepreneur, you're ahead of the game. There will be a new influx of entrepreneurs, freelancers. Well, reason because of everything is changing, technological advancement is happening, meaning people are leaving jobs or being thrown away, basically discarded, and they are trying to find a new sense of meaning. A lot of people are lost. In fact, we need more coaches, we need more yogis, we need more people who have all this service-based industry to help them find their way, including business coaches, people who provide business services in the room, including baking. Right, including baking, right? And the thing is that you have seen that a lot of people are starting to see that, oh, maybe I can be a creator and things like that. For you to thrive is to outcompete them in consistency. If you're starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping, that's 90% of the people. If you can be consistent, like I say, with one message, with one offer, one brand, one solution, you eventually penetrate. It might sound boring, it might sound mundane, it might sound like it's like, shit, I'm repeating myself, but that's what people need now, right? Then of course you can find creative ways to share that one thing in many different forms. So 2025, because of there's a lot of this laying off, because of technological jobs being replaced, roles being replaced, then 2026 really highlights this even bigger, right? And moving forward to 2027, a lot of these people who have been in this field already, there will be a change of leadership, meaning more of these solopreneurs, everybody can be a leader now. Good news, it's a fair game. Bad news, you're drowned in the noise. Everybody sounds the same. Again, your authenticity outcompetes everybody, right? And let it be coming from a place of genuinity, right? You have been through some experience in your life. You have some wisdom, some knowledge that only you can draw from, right? Share that. The more vulnerable you are with people, the better doors open for you. All this new influx of entrepreneurs, sell to them. Sell to these people and let them see you as the person to go to. We used to think that only the big top dogs can get businesses. That's not true anymore, and here's why. All right, there are many different levels of entrepreneurs and business owners and people. There's different levels, right? They will resonate with you based on the level that they want to be worked at. The good news is that they get close proximity to you. With the big dogs, they don't. All they get is a frigging webinar or a frigging, online call in a group where their voice is drowned, right? But if they find a coach that is super reliable or someone that or a service provider that is super reliable, that's face to face with you, that's powerful. And even in the cases of B2B businesses as well, right? You need to find and connect with the people that can make decisions and build relationship there. And everybody is on social media anyway. That will open doors for you. The reason why this year I'm able to speak in so many different places is not because I'm great. I am great. I have my own things that I care about, and not everybody resonate with it. Most do, some do, right? Some don't. But I was able to get into those doors because I knew people, right? Networking, getting to know the right people in your industry is massive. And your social media is your business card, is your profile. So let people go there and look at you because people are going to stalk you, right? Just to build trust with you. That being said, another thing to outcompete others is to take risk consistently. If you're not taking one micro risk a week next year, you fall behind because of how quick the speed is. You guys get what I mean? You are leaving money on the table because you are not consistent in putting yourself out there. And this is why one of the things that I have decided to do this year for myself is to build a team that can run the content. It's a full-time job, right? That can churn out content and with original ideas as much as I could. And that's the game that you might need to play. You need to play and figure out how to actually leverage your own stories out there. And even if you're not someone who is very vocal on the video perspective, nowadays written content is like this long form written content, emails, newsletters, right? It's still pretty much alive, and you want to keep that going. As long as you're consistent, it will get somewhere sometime. You just don't know when it's going to happen. But if you lose the track, then the possibility of building that momentum won't happen. You need to leverage on compound effect. Otherwise, if you're starting and stopping and starting and stopping, you're burning yourself out, right? So don't chase trend, make your own trend. All right. The third thing, the big theme of next year, is the year of too much too soon. I think next year is a year of, based on an astrological evidence, is when, number one, a lot of us will feel enough is enough. I'm done being stuck in the rut. Let me just go take some risks, right? There's a lot of fire energy going on, meaning there's a lot of us that are feeling like restless, sick of being stuck in this same place, and we want change. Meaning more people are taking risks. Next year is a great year to sell, right? It's expansion of the expansion. But be careful of hype and hope. Everything that is built from hype and hope will crash, right? So if you want to be in a place of hype and hope, be the one that creates great structures and foundations for people so that you can build long-term relationships that will leverage in a very long time, right? That's the kind of like mindset that you guys need to have. But if you're chasing after, the hype and hope, for example, if you're just putting one event here, event there, it doesn't build into anything else, you're losing a lot of momentum and you're leaking what we call leads and people. So make sure that you're keeping people engaged. Once you capture people's intention, build trust, proactively go and text people and make connection, right? So that you build a community with you, right? People are hungry for community. Community is the best way to sell next year, right? Even though everybody is kind of like, hyper individualistic. From a health perspective, it's so tempting to be doing a lot. That's why I say it goes back to one thing, the year of the one. If anything that you need to take away from this session is the year of the one. Focus on one thing, right? And when people fall away because you're consistent, right? That's when you shine. Is the consistency part of things. And then the too much too soon is as well the desire for you to break away from places that where you find there's toxicity, where it wasn't serving your highest good. And it's kind of like the bringing forward of what happens in 2025 and before to 2026, right? And at that point, it's really at the boiling temperature, right? And my encouragement is that if you know there are certain things you need to let go and eliminate, let's do it gracefully over time now, rather than waiting for something to happen that activates that ending. Because the thing about the universe, and I believe and I see this again and again, is that there's a homeostasis system, and when you're not authentically who you are, it brings you crisis, challenges, to invite you as a feedback to remember what it means to be authentically you. And why does the universe want this? Why does the nature want this? Because of evolution, right? And evolution in nature is all about diversifying in different ways, shape, or form, right? And while maintaining the harmony with one another, right? It's interesting to see that nature, you can have so many different millions of species living under one roof, under one ecosystem, and they're kind of like harmonious unless it's intervened by some form of human intervention. Okay, so that meaning I'm asking you guys, really reflect in your 2025 and what you have left in this year to make certain decisions, hard decisions perhaps, that is constantly gnawing at you from the inside, and really release it, right? So that you are in a space of a vacuum, an empty space to invite the new in. If your hand is too full, you're not going to invite new things, right? If your energy is too full, you're not going to invite new things. So the year of too much too soon, 5 E's. Enough. Notice what's enough is enough, and what is misaligned. Eliminate what drains you. Focus on what's essential, and then prepare for the unexpected expansion. Cool. All right. Number 4. Next year is also a year where your blind spots are being revealed. and there's a lot of truth coming to light. Meaning there's a lot of secrets that might come out. There is a speculation. I'm not gonna tell you where I find all this evidence. It's just me speculation what I'm looking at. NASA and the world will finally declare there is the existence of aliens and ancient civilizations and all this kind of stuff, right? That's why I say it's a speculation. But it's interesting where a lot of this kind of like the deep darker truth of our human history will be revealed for good reasons, right? We all knew about it actually pretty much, but having a formal conversation around this in the world will change the way everybody behaves, right? And that includes the truth about you as a human person, as a human being. Maybe what we know about our biology, what we know in our, understanding of what it means to be human, can completely change in the next 1 or 2 years. If it's not next year, then it's the following year for sure, right? And another blind spot that is being called to our attention is our emotions, right? Our traumas, our unresolved past memories. If you guys notice, this emotional things are intensified. We are forced to face them. I don't think 10 years ago and people talk about mental health and things like that. Yeah, great, right? But nowadays it's really we all know that something is not quite right with us, or at least the way we live our life, and a change is being asked and called forth. And even you can see in the leaderships in the corporate environment, and people are talking about authentic presence, and psychological safety more intensively than before. And reason is because a lot of people are burning out and they're losing talents, and they feel like people need to change the way they work, right? And obviously with everything that is changing with AI technology and all this kind of stuff, I like to see things positively. It invites opportunity where we don't become workaholics, and we can finally dive deeper into to really question what it means for us to be human, to be creative again, and do things that is meaningful rather than just serving a certain cog, in the big machine. So my invitation for all of you next year, while you guys are pursuing all those external things, make sure you schedule weekly or monthly moments where it's empty, and schedule empty days, empty block, and empty weekends, empty getaways, and you don't plan on it yet. Don't set a holiday. Just make it empty. Then when the inspiration of the moment came, and then you just let opportunity comes to see what suits best for you. But I really do see that in a world that everybody's accelerating and rushing, have those empty space for contemplation, introspection, and reflection. There's a saying: if you see more, you do less. And because of that, it goes back to theme number 5, is that it's a year of highly disconnected time. And I could say that, people are more impulsive next year, right? Because enough is enough. And there's not going to be a lot of like people pressing brakes. Means people can be like, going at an extreme in how they do things. And things will escalate. It's meant to escalate. And my invitation for all of you, when they do, you keep calm. You focus on your lane. Stop adding what I call, verbiage onto the internet to comment on things that, that you don't have to do, right? I'm not saying that people in this room are, but I'm just saying that, let's say anybody is, reflecting on this, right? To pay attention on not getting caught up by societal's rage. Okay. All the wars that's happening in the world, probably there's no ending yet. Probably it's going to escalate even further, right? Yesterday, I think there's a shootout at in Australia, Bondi Beach, right? There was a shooting happening in Australia, and 15 Jews died. And one small incident like that all the way in Australia is going to fly all the way to the Middle East and away to the US and spark a lot of flames. So in a way, some 2026 themes are already beginning. So that's the 5 themes I want to be sharing for you guys and to give you a little understanding of what 2026 look like. In a way, it's a year of so much opportunities and so much can happen. You could say the opportunities of your life will be coming, in 2026 and coming in fast. One thing you should be worried is that maybe you don't have enough hands, enough mind, enough hearts to actually receive all these opportunities. So build the nice foundation to actually, go ahead and receive these things, right? Make sure you create. And what do I mean by foundation? Meaning maybe you need a team. Maybe you need to hire earlier than you think. And maybe you need a schedule that helps you schedule, empty days, right? Maybe you need to focus on exercising and increasing your energy system of your body. Maybe you need meditation and so on and so forth so that you can sustain what you do, right? Don't just overextend yourself. Control what you can and let go what you cannot. There's more than enough opportunity. So don't get caught up in the scarcity mindset. It's not enough. Let me go push harder in this, and then you overlook so many different red flags, and then you're in some form of like things that you don't really that you really enjoy. So invitation to really understand who you are, what you want, and what your values are. Understand your own way of making guided choices, and go for it. Right? Don't get lost by people's energy, for the lack of a better word. Okay. So those are themes. Now let's really go into month to month on what kind of things that you can expect. January, tying up loose knots, or the theme that I'll say is some form of like a reality check. I don't know how you guys feel about December this month, but I really feel like there's a lot of like awareness or insights about what to let go and what to focus on. Right? There's like almost a refreshing time after October and November, which is kind of depressing for many people. So December gives you that level of like, oh, it's a new light, it's a new opportunity, maybe something new is coming, and the thing is that you got to know what you want because there's so many new things coming your way, and you got to know what to pick and what not to pick. The better you are at making clear choices next year rather than just impulsively going after everything, the better your year is going to become. So January is going to basically some form of reality check. If you have not let go certain people, situations, circumstances, life is going to come in with something and forces you to see the truth of things, because we can be in denial in so many different things until life happens. Reason why I'm saying that is because there's a bunch of planets, hanging around Capricorn, and Capricorn is really about accountability and true feedback about what's real, right? Not what you think it should be. Moving on to February, there will be a very important conjunction between Saturn and Neptune, and that happens every 38 years, right? Every 36 years, sorry, every 36 years. And the themes that I'm putting in here is New Horizon, right? This is when February is a good time to take risks, right? Plan new events, put out new books, put out new ideas, and collaborate with people. I would say new alliances can be formed in February, whether it's business partners or between you and your partner. If you're single, maybe a new someone new can come in, and if you are, looking for the investors or people to collaborate with, this is the time. So don't wait for February to come. Start building relationships now. And I'm sharing this because, whatever seed you plant now manifest later. Don't wait for these key moments to come, all right? So dare yourself forward in February. When opportunity comes, say yes. Rather than, oh, no, I'm not good enough. I don't want to do this. Imposter syndrome. Maybe this is not a good time. I'm not ready enough. Nah, none of that. Just say yes and figure it out on the spot, right? And things might accelerate and develop faster than you think. Look out for March. March is what I call organizational chaos. It's a mess. I'm sorry, it's a mess, right? March is a mess in a way that there's an eclipse happening, and Mercury, the planet that deals with organization, is in the sign of Pisces, retrograding during that time. So there will be a lot of like miscommunication. So make sure you check your itinerary and things like that. Now, the good news is that it's time for creativity, innovation of your own, and to do a little bit of a mad scientist thing to lock yourself up in the room in a way and churn out new ideas. There's also moments where you can feel like things go out of your control, and you have to just say, come into a place a little bit of a surrendering and conscious acceptance that life has its own plan. And I'll say that March is a deeply humbling time, so be open to really listen to what's going on rather than always making life about you or your agenda. Okay. April is a stellium of Aries. It's a time of, it's really spring of the spring. and it's what I call a floodgate of hype and hope, where people find new inspiration. They just want to go and start new things, but you don't know whether it's going to last. And this is where I'll say, if you are someone who has been consistent for a long time, this is the great time for you to be selling to these new people. Those who are just coming into the game, I'm sorry, but fresh blood, and this is what you want to actually milk them out a little bit. For good reasons, yeah. Please don't go and what do you call it? Exploit these people, right? For good reasons, all right? Guide them towards the right direction. If you're a business owner and so on and so forth, show them the way so they don't have to spend 10 years figuring things out. April is also a time where a lot of people are blindly courageous. Blindly courageous. I say that with intention. Blindly courageous. And there will be a lot of pain coming forth from that, because again, it's hype and hope, right? People get high with certain new trends, and then just don't follow it. Stick on your own path. May will be a full-on acceleration in terms of our communication technology, and social changes can happen drastically during May, because the planet Uranus is formally now entering Gemini for good for a while now. For I think it's about 10 years. I forgot the years. But it will be there for a while, and basically this is a time where space exploration can happen, new innovation in our transport system can happen. I think globalization of our railways are probably happening, but you can also know that there'll be more exploitation on nature during this time, for people to make weapons and stuff like that. So some natural disaster can happen during this time as well. Right, more so from an air perspective, like hurricanes, tornado, and those kind of things. Not that it affects us here in Malaysia, and I don't think in Europe, but whatever happens in the world happens to us, right? It means what does this mean, right? Economy is gonna go up and down. Bitcoin is gonna go up and down. Nothing's gonna be very stable economically, right? There will also be a new revolution in the way we see fashion, right? And more of the futuristic look will start to drop into our life. Like I said, right? Maybe virtual reality sets in every household is gonna happen at some point, or your watch is that they are actually creating a glasses. I think Facebook, Meta, right? I think Mark Zuckerberg is making a glasses. There's a phone and an entire screen in it. I don't want that. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want that. Okay, so as you can see, every month is kind of like intense with a certain astrological energy and signature. By the time it comes to June, it's a little bit more slow. Not slow as in slow, but it's slow in comparison to other months. So my encouragement is that June, you guys take a breather, right? Because it's the theme of integration, and in some cases, many people are probably have an opportunity to experience some level of milestones, right? Some recognition, some level of community acknowledgement of you, and so on and so forth. So June is really a great time to just receive the rewards that of all the efforts that you have sown. I wouldn't put too many big plans in June. I'll say take your time to breathe. And July is another month where it's also intense in a way of things changing. And the theme that I put for July is what I call radical change, meaning change that is happening radically in a way that your entire identity, outlook, mindset completely changes, right? I guess because of the awareness of what happened in April, May, and June, there'll be a call. Maybe you have to grow yourself, take up new responsibilities. Maybe you see a chance where your dream starts to come true earlier than you think, and then you have to hold on more commitments to the world and for everybody around you. And I'll say because Jupiter is moving into Leo, there's a sense where we are living our purpose, our mission, and life can be meaningful. But at the same time, many people will feel that way. So who's right? Right? So there'll be a battle and a clash of egos kind of like starting to happen then. Another thing that invites radical change is another eclipse that happens. And by the way, for you guys who are new to astrology, eclipses happen twice a year, right? Twice a year. And this one is really all about the battle between the heart and the brain, right? Human connection versus technology. What it means to perform authentically versus, being right and perfect all the time. And that kind of conversation will go back and forth. And what will happen and change is the way we deal with leadership. So some of us who are solopreneurs might band together and create a team. And sometimes team can break away and you ended up becoming more of a solo person, right? Depending on what kind of relationships you put yourself in. August, I'll say, is the highlight of the year, right? Because it's also in the ecliptic period where you'll see a new paradigm of leadership. A lot of younger people will actually, start to speak for the world. And when I say younger, I'm talking about people in their 20s, right? I'm not surprised you see a Gen Z billionaire. I think it has already started that they are there. And I don't know how many of you are tracking, this whole news where Elon Musk might be the first person who become a trillionaire, right? And basically, again, showcasing the inequality of wealth distribution in the world, and as well, like the absurdity of when is this gonna blow, right? But there's gonna be a lot of enthusiasm, and basically, it's a great time if any of you finally say, it's time for me to leave my job and go solo and stuff like that. This is the time, right? Right. Take full ownership of your dreams. September, I wrote here is what we call a new norm. There's no big major transits, and then October is what I call battle of ego. November is what I call legacy making, and December expansion. Look, there's no rest from September to December in terms of the energy in the world. All the planets are either in Aries or Leo. like if you guys know astrology, those two signs are pretty self-centered. I'm Leo. I have the Leo sign, and my girlfriend is Aries, and we have battle of egos every day, and we fight. Love language, right? But the good news between the Aries and Leo is that the Aries can start something, and the Leo can sustain things to keep it going. So that last quarter of the year, right? If you still have energy in the tank, take risk, leap, jump. Make sense? So as you guys were hearing, right? How many of those months out of those 12 months is actually resting? only June. Only June, right? Where it's why we call slow season. That's why comparatively. So when I look at this, I'm like, there's no way that we as humans can just go all in and all out in all 12 months unless you have a good system of recovery, number one, or you know how to rewire your nervous system to see that expansion, success, and growth is actually safe. The reason why we burn out is not because we overwork. It's because, number one, our nervous system think that success is dangerous. It's holding you back and you burn out. Number two, right? So you need to expand your nervous system capacity to actually hold more success. Number two, burnout is also doing things that is out of alignment of your values. your true values, your authentic values. Next year, if you're not authentic, you are going to burn out faster than you think. Right? And if you don't speak up your truth and you keep avoiding conversations, you're gonna burn out faster than you think. Right? And you're gonna feel like you're gonna do the great thing. You feel like you're in progress because there's momentum, because there's all this external gratification and validation. You just don't know when internally you actually are killing yourself. That's the danger of next year. So, my suggestion, 10 tips to make a 2026 a fruitful year. Right? Number 1, be a creator, not a consumer. By the way, if you guys want this info, I actually written it in a newsletter, right? Just DM me later after this thing and say, hey, can I have that thing? Can I have that list? So that you guys don't have to frantically take notes. But if you want to take notes and make it yours, that's up to you, right? Number 2, your authenticity is your only real competitive edge. That's a saying and one big realization I have in 2025. It's not about working hard, working smart, or being nice. It's about being you. The universe only rewards you for being you. And that, to me, when I hear that, wow, that's such a liberation. But at the same time, scary, because being you has some level of vulnerability around it, right? Because you don't know if people is going to receive the true version of you, right? But it's your competitive edge in so many different ways. Number 3, hear this carefully. Stop prioritizing what's important. Start prioritizing what is essential. Can you agree with me that everything in life is important? Oh, wow, there are 10 important things. By the way, the word priority means there's only one. There's no such thing as priorities. You cannot have a plural priorities. You guys get what I mean? Because if it's a plural priorities, then they're not priorities anymore. Now, when we feel and relate everything is important, we might think it's only an emotional, subjective feeling that we feel that it's important. If you feel like everything is important, my understanding is that you don't know how to choose. We are not time poor, energy poor, money poor. We are choice poor. If you know how to make choices, if you know how to have great conversations and negotiate, you will spend less time doing too many things. Right? Because we have all this relational stress from all these expectations, right? That's why everything is important. We start living other people's version of success and freedom. All right, number 4. Your limitation is not knowledge. It's not your skills. It's not your capabilities. It's your energetic output. How many of you in this room feel like, hey, maybe I'm not good enough. I need to learn X, Y, and Z. I'm going to prepare this. Then I'm going to put myself out. Right? No. that's. By the way, I'm raising my hand first. Me too. That can happen for me too. But then again, you meet people where they are, and you meet yourself where you are. And I often say this to people, and for those people who want to start something new and share something really meaningful to the world, your 1 step is everybody's 10 steps, at least your client's 10 steps. So if you just put that out, it's really a great thing. Your minimum viable product or service don't have to be too perfect. It has to be just enough to solve a certain problem. Start selling, start sharing, right? That would be so helpful. Number 5, stop being generic. Start being ultra specific. And I bold the words ultra. The more specific you are and the more you understand people, exactly what they're going through, the better the value that you're going to provide. That means you're very conscious and intentional about the conversations you're having. Next year is not about quantity, because everything's accelerating, right? I say counter trends. Next year is really about quality. How well you know yourself or how well you choose, right, is going to determine how well and intentional the conversations you're going to be having. You don't have to like me. Not everybody have to like you, right? And you really just want to, like in dating apps, swipe them off. Kind of mean, right? But I'm joking, but it's true. Please protect your energy, everybody in the room. Protect your energy. Your energy is the most precious thing, right? You have no time to deal with inconsequential things because you have bigger things and more important to do. And my job, and why I'm so passionate in what I do is because I believe when you live your greatest gift, when you're delivering your most powerful vision, the gift inside of you, and share it with people around you, you're making the greatest impact to the world just by being you. You don't have to be anything any more extra, right? And I'm adamant about bringing you back home to that. Number 6, lead with presence, not performance, right? It's kind of like basically a repetition of what I'm saying. But what I'm really saying is that don't just show up with the adrenaline high, right? Make better choices. Say no more often than you say yes. And for you to really say no more often than you say yes, you have to know and understand what your most powerful reason why you even say yes to. Meaning, what are you saying yes to? It has to be a very powerful reason. You need to know your why. You need to know your big purpose in life. Otherwise, you'll be drowned in people's noise. Number 7, build environment that builds you. Create environment that creates you. How many of you struggle to stay in a habit consistently? It's not because you lack willpower. It's not because you lack discipline. It's not because you're lazy or procrastinating or something is wrong with you that you need to go to do some trauma healing. It's just simply that you're in the wrong environment that's making it hard for you to stay focused on the right habits that you want to create. When you try to be healthy in front of people that doesn't want to be healthy and eat junk foods and processed food all the time, good luck. Right? You either lose your friends or you lose your health. That's me, by the way. I'm speaking from that perspective. And I've decided to lose my friends because my health is the most important thing, right? And I felt it so uneasy, needing to be in a restaurant or a cafe, hanging out, eating food I can't eat, and I'm just watching them eat, and I feel like left out. Ooh, there's so much trauma and stuff around that. But look, your energy is the most important thing that you need to protect. So create an environment, right, that helps you to create your new habits. But before you can do that, audit your spaces, your habits, your people, your inputs, your digital footprint, and how you see content. Delete and eliminate things as much as you can before 2026, right? This next 2 weeks, one of the things I'm doing is a 5-day water fast and to give me the clarity on what I need to remove from my life. And also to work on my book project, right? I mean, you don't have to be an extremist like me, but I do this once a year. It's part of my routine. Okay, number 8, burn out proof your life. What does that even mean, right? Means you have to prioritize recovery, not just rest, active recovery. Do your breathing while you're in traffic, right? Don't just slide off into your couch with your phone, doom scrolling and watch Netflix, right? Take care of your nervous system whenever you can, however you can. Don't, because I'll say in modern life, sleeping is not enough anymore. Then you have to optimize rest and recovery during the day, right? And this is why biohacking is such a big trend now. But it doesn't have to be expensive biohacking. It could be very simple of getting sunlight, breathing well, right? Surrounding yourself with good people, love well, hug your loved ones, please, right? 1 minute of hugging your loved ones increases oxytocin in your body and so on and so forth. So good things like that. Number 9, master the communication that transfers energy, not information. Now, I believe communication is more than just saying what you need to say in terms of words, right? It's also energy transference. If you are depleted, good luck communicating to people. If your cup is full, it doesn't matter what you say, something will deliver. That's what we sense as a sense of alignment. But if you're tired, burnt out, depleted, and you're still trying to push it, and you don't know how to press the pause button and reorganize yourself, basically you're just going to be swept, by the currents of life. So make sure you own your energy and then learn how to communicate through your energy as well. That is your tone, your pitch, right? I mean, that's not your tone, that's not your pitch. It's really more on your presence. What are you delivering for people? Stop being a perfectionist and think about what people think about you. Oh shit, my stutter or my word or whatever, and so on and so forth. Again, authenticity is what delivers it. Because when you are fully safe in who you are and you just communicate, it's at ease, right? And people finally understand you. Last but not least, turn out the external noise and tune in to your internal signal. I have a phrase, right? You gotta connect. Disconnect from the outer world and reconnect to your inner world, and try to maintain your connection with your inner world while you're also, going out into the outer world. So, inner work cannot be more important next year. So start building the foundation of having what we call a nervous system agility, emotional agility, to be able to switch on and switch off the regulation of your nervous system, and nourish yourself. Because something I share in my community, if you are someone who built dreams, right? Imagine you're climbing a mountain. There's no downhill anymore, guys. If you're building a dream, right? There's no downhill anymore. So you got to learn how to rest and recover in moments where it's less steep, right? There is more on a flat ground. You have to learn how to recover and still maintain things. And that is a skill, a soft skill of the year, I would say, right? How to continue to be consistent in how you show up, right? While still energizing yourself and not going to a far extreme of, yeah, I'm going to go out with all my things and I'm going to go away for a big retreat and take a sabbatical and do a social media detox and so on and so forth, because that only breaks momentum, and then you got to rebuild everything again, and it's going to be putting you at a back seat. Does that make sense for everyone? Right. So learning how to have a good energy throughout the year rather than extreme highs and extreme lows. All right, cool. So that's all I have for tonight. And I hope there are some inspirational insights for you guys about what's to come. I have a free PDF for you guys on how to set goals, right? I don't know how many of you in the room wants that. And if you guys want any more extra, like, the notes for this session that I have shared in my newsletter, if you guys want that, also let me know. I'll send it to you for free for you, right? Because you showed up today. That being said, I want to help you and assist you in any way, shape, or form. If you guys are open, and want and need some more personalized help, I'm super open to give you guys 15 minutes conversation with me. Just let me know as well in the DM. I think all of you have my number, and basically have a conversation with me. And for those of you getting the recording, watching this on YouTube, just scroll down into the link below. You can book a 15 minutes call with me and to see how I can best support you. And by the way, it's not a sales call, right? And so nothing to worry about, risk-free, right? And for me to really give you some level of guidance, personal guidance in your life right here, right now, and strategize for you how you can make the best use of 2026.